Beowulf chapter 17. Then warriors hastened to their homes, bereft of friends. They returned to the Frisian land, the homesteads and high fortresses. Hengest yet remained with Finn during that blood-stained winter, honoring the pact and thinking of his home. He was powerless to drive the ring-covered prow of his ship over the waters, as now the waves rolled fiercely with lashing winds or stood locked in winter's icy chains. Then another year came upon the dwellings of man, as even now it continues to do. Skies bright with sun always came in their season. Winter was driven far off, and the earth's bosom was fair. That adventurer was up and ready to depart, leaving where he had been guest. Explanation. A lot of times winter is used symbolically as a time of loneliness or separation, and a lot of times symbolic of the end of life as well. So this talks about, people returning to your home after a battle, and Hengest remains behind, and it's winter, and he stays there through the winter, and that has a loneliness because he was not I don't know if he wasn't allowed to go home or he just didn't go home. Back to the reading. However, he thought more upon revenge than on sea roving, and how to hasten hot encounters with the son of Frisians. And so he, too, was doomed when Hunlafing gave the scintillating blade of battle to him, the best of blades. Its edges were feared among enemies, and in this manner the sword death fell upon the fierce-hearted Finn while he was at home. After their sea voyage, Guthlaf and Oslaf recounted many tales of woe, and so Finn's wild spirit stayed not within his breast. The fortress was red with the blood of enemies, and Finn was slain. The king amid his guards, the queen was taken. Shieldling warriors carried to their ship all the king's possessions, and anything of gems and jewels they found in Finn's domain. The gentle wife was carried back over the sea paths to the Danes. So this just goes to show that, Finn has anger about it, and he doesn't not show that, which is not uncommon at the time. They were a warlike people by necessity, not out of choice, but by necessity. So he's got a lot of anger against the Danes. Back to the reading. The lay, that barbaric ballad, was sung to its end. Then the glad feast rose, and the sound of merriment grew bright. Cup-bearers poured wine from their wondrous flagons. Wealhtheow then came forward, moving beneath her golden diadem to where the two brave men sat, uncle and nephew, each true to the other in kindred affection. Unferth, the orator, sat at the feet of the shielding lord. Men had faith in Unferth's spirit and the might of his courage, although his sword fighting had been disloyal to his kin. Explanation. The last line there is about Unferth. Unferth, remember, in a previous chapter, told Beowulf, oh, you're here to kill our monster? Yay, you can't even win a swimming match against Brecca, so I don't really have any confidence that you're going to win. Nevertheless, stay in the hall all night. But they talk about, the Danes beat these people, took the queen back, took treasures back, and now they're at home partying, because they're going to give away the treasures now. And then Wealhtheow is present again. Wealhtheow, being the queen, had an important position and is valued in society. Back to the reading. The Shielding's lady spoke. Drink of this cup, my lord, giver of rings. Be you merry, O magnanimous friend of men, and speak gentle words to the Geats as men should do. Be glad with them and mindful of those gifts you've received from near and far. Men say that you wish to receive this hero as your son. Heorot has been purged. Enjoy this bright hall of riches while you can, and give many treasures, leaving folk and land to your children when you must away to your fate. For I deem that my gracious Hrothgar will rule honorably over the young ones if you quit the world earlier than he does. Shielding's friend, I believe he will repay good to our children if he remembers well all the comforts and gifts of honors that we bestowed on him when he was helpless. So then she then turned to the seat where her sons were placed, Rathric and Rothman, the two young sons of heroes. The Geat also sat there, brave Beowulf, between the brothers. Wealhtheow is partaking in part of her responsibility, which is like handing out drinks, handing out rings, things like that. And she, I noticed that it's pointed out that they have three sons and a daughter. Yes, no, hold on. Two sons and a daughter. Okay. The Geet family has three sons and a daughter, but he has two sons and a daughter. So they have conveniently sat Beowulf directly between their two sons, and I think that's just like the parents' wish of like that Beowulf's going to like rub off on their sons, and their sons are going to be as super fantastic as Beowulf is, and brave and warrior and things like that, which is super cute. But that is all that Chapter 17 has to offer. Chapter 18 is next. Thanks for listening.